Welcome to Main Title Design, American Soldier. This is frame 1. For this first frame, we're going to start with an image select from the client. I like to start with textures on a project like this. So I'll immediately drag a texture into the composition timeline, scale it up, and then set the transfer mode to overlay. I'm a huge fan of the transfer modes overlay, screen, and multiply, and always start with those three. Next, I would like to add some sort of framing device. This is a nice looking image. Again, it's scaled up and positioned. And then the transfer mode is set to screen. This particular texture adds a nice blue tint to the overall image. A second image is added to the composition to help sell the effect of layering. I will quickly and roughly position this image. An ink clip is added to the timeline, and the endpoint is adjusted to reveal more ink. Then the image track matte is set to luma invert the ink footage. This means that the image will show through the black part of the ink. Here, I reversed the X scale to -100 so that the ink would flow in the opposite direction. I then positioned the ink footage to fit better into the composition. After this, I reposition the image so that it shows better through the ink. The brown texture layer and the ink footage layer are both duplicated, with the texture layer set to luma invert the ink layer. This creates an extra layer of texture over the second added image. I then added an additional texture layer, scaled it, and set the transfer mode to screen. The ink layer is again duplicated, and the new texture layer is set to luma invert the ink layer as well. In this process, I am building texture upon texture. One final texture layer is applied top level to bring a cohesive look to all the layers. Because this is the hero style frame for the series, I want to make sure that I get this design right. I want to include as many elements as possible that can be carried across to other style frames. In this case, I thought it would be a nice touch to add a newspaper headline somewhere in the design. I brought in this New York Times headline, applied the effect invert to reverse out the black and white, and then set the transfer mode to screen. The resulting design turned out well. In order to help blend all of the elements together, we need to apply some sort of color correction color wash. To do this, I applied an adjustment layer and applied the effect color correction lumetri. In the lumetri effect, under creative, I applied one of the presets. I am a fan of lumetri color. It's an easy way to do an overall color correction. Now that the image base is almost complete, it's time to start experimenting with the typography. I began by adding a line of type from the soldier's code. I will never accept defeat. From here, I chose the typeface Texas Hero. I scaled and positioned the type to fit nicely into the frame. Think of the type as a design element and not so much as a line of copy that needs to be fully read. Next, I began to build out the actual title credits. This consisted of titles and names. I am always a fan of Helvetica, so this is an easy typeface to begin with. In my opinion, in title sequences, it's important that names and company names are the main focus, and other words like a, and the are minimized. I pre-compose the typography in the design so that it's easier to deal with. In the pre-comp, I can easily adjust the size and position of the 3 lines of type. Also, in the main design comp, it's easier to position and scale one pre-comp versus 3 lines of individual type. I reduced the size of the word A and the word production because they are less important words to read on screen. After I have positioned all 3 lines of type, I start to play with the different typefaces and fonts until I find something that I like. I continue to refine the size and position of all 3 lines of type. Once satisfied with the layout, back in the main frame design, I can easily scale and position the pre-comp text to better fit my design. Occasionally, I will use the grids in After Effects to help me lay out design elements. Here I am applying the tint effect to the title pre-comp. This is an easy way to change the color of all the text. I sample a gray tone from the design and apply it to the white channel. I then add grain to help the typography blend more in with the scene. The grain effect is a subtle effect, but it's the subtleties in motion design that make all the difference. Next, I apply a compound blur with a very low value. This effect is to slightly soften the edges of the type. It helps to reduce the digital crispness of the type. Lastly, I apply the unsharp mask to the type. This effect helps to bring out the grain effect. Using the snapshot feature, I can compare before and after images of the typography. I finalized the text placement and size, and the spacing between each line of text. At this point, I'm happy with the design of frame 1, and I'm ready to move on to frame 2.